Assalamualaikum and hi again, sir. My name is Fatimah Najiha binti Azmin, number metric 270161. So I will explain my answer in 10 and soft 3. So the first question is I have to explain two main challenge in managing multi-generational workforce. So the first answer so the first challenge in managing multi-generational workforce is the work expectation. As we know, everyone has different thoughts and evaluations about something, especially if they are not at the same generation. This is because each generation grows up in different atmosphere and situation. A different lifestyle will affect one thinking style. The members of the baby boomers generation usually thinks that generation from millennials are lazy, hard to handle, technology obsessed, um, and so on. As for the millennials, they might think that the working with all workers are not fun, strict, overeager, and so on. These situations are caused by the era that they grow. So, it may be hard for the company to make these two generations work together as they have a bad expectation among themselves. There can be significant divide between how the various generations prefer to work. As for the baby boomers, they are willing to work overtime and willingly to working long days at the office because most of them are not married, single, and so on. Different with the millennial generation, they are prefer to work in flexible hours and want to have a limited time at workplace. This is because the millennial generation normally can withstand the extreme and stressful work pressure. Therefore, they prefer to work only in the flexible hours so they also have time for themselves. Second challenge for the generation for the organization in managing multi-generational workforce is prone to misunderstanding because of their style. This misunderstanding occur because of communication style between all workers and the millennial generation. As we know, the Z and millennial generation is more vocal in expressing an opinion that they feel right and sometimes ignore the works of those who are more experienced. This situation leads to frequent misunderstanding between these two generations. All workers will feel challenged and misunderstood by the action of the millennial generation. Even what the millennial generation say are true and feel they are not wrong as they are usual with that attitude. The way of communication between these two can make them misunderstand. Other than that, the communication problem occur because of the technology communication. The millennial generation are more expert in using technology, especially mass media compared to the workers from baby boomers generation. For instance, baby boomers prefers phone call and emails, while Generation Y prefers text message, tweet and instant messages to communicate. When you add in the fact that younger employees are more likely to use abbreviations, informal terminology, and colloquialism, you have a formula for serious communication breakdown. So, I think the two main challenge in managing multi-generational workforce is um, have a different thoughts and evaluation. The first one is the work expectation between the millennial between the Z generation and the old workers, and the second is prone to have misunderstanding because of their style. So that's my answer for question one. So for the question two is I have to explain benefit of a multi-generational workforce towards the organization. Okay, either this kind of workforce have a challenge, but it has it still give a benefit to the organization. So the first benefit is company can gain from having a multi general workforce is mentoring. This means that the baby boomers who was a senior and have a lot of experience in their field can monitor their new employees who mostly are fresh graduate and didn't have enough experience to work in the organization. This situation not only provide an opportunity for the millennial generation to acknowledge, but also can make the multi-generational employees in the organization to exchange their knowledge, experience, skill above age, seniority or gender from one another. By having a multi-generational employees, the organizational doesn't need to worry whenever they want to hire a new employees if the employees are coming from millennial generation, they can ask the old employees to teach them about the organization. It's not only can reduce the cost but also increase the productivity of the organization. Doing a mentoring also can help these two generations to build a relationship. When they are in process of mentoring, they will spend a lot of time together. So it can help them to build a relationship and fix the misunderstanding between them. So from the multi-generational workforce, the organization not only can reduce cost and time for mentor program, but also can fix a relationship between the two generations. The second benefit that organization can get from having multi-generational workforce is increase the competitive advantage of the organization. By having an employees from different generation, it can help the organization to compete in the marketplace. This is because when the organization have a multi-generation employees, the organization will have a variety of knowledge, skill and ability in the organization. This is because every generation grow up in different era. So in their era, they will learn something that different. For example, the baby boomers employee might be expert in solving a problem as the way they approach the problem usually are effective than the millennial generation, while the millennial generation are usually expert in using technology and their fresh ideas sometimes can help the organization to be different and stand out from other company. So, if the organization combine the strength of these two generations, it really can make the organization outstanding from other organization in the marketplace. If the employees for different multi-generation can expect in skill both generation, it can be advantage to the organization because it has a versatile and knowledgeable employees even they are not at the same generation. So it can improve the organization image as well as the productivity of the company. In conclusion, the two benefit that the company can gain from having a multi-generational workforce towards the organization is um, is mentoring because it can save budget and time. Second is increase the competitive advantage of the organization as the two generation can exchange their ideas, skill, knowledge, and so on. So that was my answer for question 2. For the question 3 is I have to find the best strategies in managing performance of multi-generational workforce who have different styles and expectations. Okay. For me, in order to get the benefit from different multi-generational in the workplace, the organization must first make sure that they have a strategies to overcome the challenge. So the first strategies in managing performance of multi-generational workforce who have different style and expectation is set a clear expectation. The organization have to make sure that the old employees didn't make yearly expectation towards the millennial employees before looking at the work result. This is because people usually make an adjustment judgment first before they look at the result. This kind of situation can make them already said that the new employees from millennial generation are not good. Not even the new employees making a good work. It still looks back from the old employee as they already set up a negative thing towards the millennial. But this not just for the old employees, but also for the for the millennial generation. Both of this generation shouldn't make a early expectation before they know and see how the result of their works. The second strategy is manage use a very second is different side is very a communication approach. As I mentioned before, the employees from a baby boomers generation are likely to use a traditional ways to communicate, which is prefer face-to-face communication and email, while the employees from millennial generation are more familiar with the technology. So, to communicate, they prefer remote work and communicate using social media. So, as the leader, they should be fair towards these two generations. Don't use too much technology in communicate and not using much traditional way. Leaders should find ways to convey message in a touch-savvy and high-touch manner to meet the need of the employees from the two generations. To avoid the misunderstanding between the two generations and the organization should open communication. By doing this, it can help them to break the generational barriers as well as can help them to build a good relationship and improve their teamwork. So, in a conclusion, the strategy that can be used by the organization in managing performance of multi-generational workforce who have different style and expectation is um, set a clear expectation. Second is um, use a very communication approach. So that's all for me. Thank you, sir, for hearing. Thank you again, sir, for hearing my answer. Have a nice day.